Yo, welcome back to another video. And today we're reacting to rappers actually get no girls. I mean, just from my experience, not really dealing with rappers, but dealing with niggas with money. Niggas with money, they come up, they feel good, they feeling themselves, you know what I'm saying? So they feeling themselves, and through feeling themselves, they go along with what seems to be the new culture nowadays, which is, you know, spending what I got to show off to get these girls, or showing off what I got. So whether it's, even if it's not spending within the black community, for some reason we have to show that we've made it. And I understand the mindset, because we've been down as a community for so long. I mean, we came from literally nothing through slavery to now, you know, having something. And now that we have something, or we strive so hard to show that we are not at the bottom, or we are not broke. Sometimes it's not always a positive thing, because some people stretch themselves so thin just to show the world that they're not broke. But let's see what my boy got to say, man, because I already know a lot of these rappers is lame. A lot of these niggas ain't got no game. They just niggas who came upon money and who got talent, and now they got talent and money and mix it together, but they still lame niggas at the end of the day and still have no game and can't attract women. So let's see what my boy got to say. This is from Julius Perceiver. Let's go ahead and jump into the video.
I want a Rolls Royce Cullinan 2025. I'm gonna leave that there while I go take a piss. This is how bitches is talking to our favorite rappers.
In fact, you watching the video right now might actually get more. Actually, if you're on this channel watching the video, that's probably not the case. Yeah, now, of course, there's a little bit of hyperbole going on here, but this is based in truth, and I'll explain why at the end of the video. But first, let's examine if this actually is the case. Now, Jacked and Stacked recently made a return to YouTube, so I'll let him, a fellow black man, begin this video.
In order to really be able to date outside your race and get really good quality, I'm talking about like the same quality that an average ass white dude would be able to get, you gotta be something exceptional. You know, you either gotta have status, height, looks. You almost gotta be damn near Superman.
I agree. Unfortunately, that's the society that we live in. Black men always have to supersede everybody's expectations in order to be looked at as something valuable. It's such a shame, because even our own black women feel like we need to supersede expectations to be the best motherfucking thing walking in order to attract some of these black women nowadays, because everybody has risen their standards so high. And, you know, obviously with the influence of some of these black female rappers, as well as the internet culture, because, you know, a lot of people live on the internet and they feel like what's going on in the internet is how they should be living in real life. So having those expectations that they need a man that's 6 foot, he needs to be in shape, he needs to have 6 figures or more, and, you know, the length of his genitalia needs to be a certain length. All these ridiculous expectations, just to have their dream man, and then turns out they don't. You actually get to know some of these women, and they don't really have anything to offer. I don't know if y'all experience this, but from my experience, I can definitely say when I deal with women who tend to see themselves as a 9 or a 10 on the rating scale, they tend to have nothing to offer. I mean, I've dealt with a couple of them over my time, you know what I'm saying? And from my experience, I can say that every time that I've run into a woman who know that they top tier shit when it comes to looks, they tend to have nothing, literally nothing to offer. No personality, nothing really going. And unfortunately, the trend seems to continue to go, because now I think about it, those women tend to literally be broke, or have some type of kid, and then they, you know, they got did dirty in the past, so now they expected, you know, a god tier man to walk into their life, and it's like, sweetie, from our perspective as a man, you're not even worth all that because you got all this extra baggage. You got all this emotional shit going on. You got damage from your last relationship, and I'm telling you, some of these women believe that they have, unfortunately, their looks have carried them through life or up until that point. And it's just gonna take the right nigga to be like, yeah, nah, this ain't it. But most of the niggas have validated them over their lifetime because they look so good, you know? And and you know how niggas think. Most niggas think, oh, okay, yeah, you look good. I think you'll look good by my side. And then they get with them. I feel like most men end up realizing that this ain't really what it is, which unfortunately, a lot of niggas really tend to see that when they get with these pretty women. So they get the pussy and then, start doing their own thing. Or they eventually do enough cheating to where they force the woman to break up with them. And they can say in the back of their head that I got it, I hit it, all right, let's move on. And then these women don't realize that a game is being played on them and continue to lead with their looks and talk about what they once had. Oh, I got a rap and a scammer. Oh, I got this celebrity, I got that celebrity. But it's like, well, if you stop and think, you realize you really just got played. You got finesse. You got finesse. You got used. Literally, you got used. But you take being used as something to brag about to your females just because that man has status. Boy, that shit's sad. That shit is pathetic.
You almost damn near got to be a Superman. I'm serious. I'm not saying, guys, there's not exceptions out there.
What he's saying here is absolutely true. And when we look at rappers, what do we see that they have going for them? Is it face and height? Or is it more on the money and status side?
Damn.
I'm gonna pull up fourth quarter. Hey.
42-year-old girlfriend don't seem to appreciate the new G-Wagon he bought her. Hides from Damn.
Hey, you at the dinner like a kid picking toys.
5'1". Damn. See, it's sad that niggas really believe that they have to come up in order to get women. I mean, at 5'1", I don't know if he had a difficult time getting women. Usually, the shorter a nigga, the more personality, the more funny a dude tends to be. That's what I hear from women. I don't really pay attention to it too much. So I know he probably got a funny personality or something like that. I'm curious if he had a hard time getting women before he had money. But it's sad that once black men tend to get money, the first thing they want to do is overspend on women who don't give no fucks about them. That I can tell that woman don't care about him. She just care about the money. And now she got a new G-Wagon. She can go on the internet and talk about how her nigga did this, her nigga did that. And it's sad that women actually tend to compete with other women. Women, it's not even just compete. They want to impress other women. It's like they live their life to impress other women. Because a lot of the things that women do, men actually really don't care for. You know what I'm saying? And it's all this image and trying to keep up with social media. But for why? Why? I felt like every human being in the inside has that feeling to want to be accepted. But I feel like, from my experience, women push it to the extreme of really wanting to be accepted by society. And it's like, why? Why do you want to be accepted so badly that you got to go out of the way to have this fake image of you on social media? And, back to what I was talking about earlier with the attractive women, the 9s and 10s, they social media be on point, right? They be looking good. Everything be looking clean cut. They be looking like they living a lavish lifestyle or a pretty decent lifestyle, or somebody taking care of them. But I'm telling you, man, you go into some of these women's home, they don't even have a full bed. House look a mess. Nothing's clean. And sometimes it's not even theirs. They still living with somebody else. Down bad, struggling to pay their bills, and then in your face begging you to pay their rent, or can you give me money here, give me money there? Get the fuck on, bro. Get the fuck on. Get the fuck on. Somebody hit it for the free ski, my nigga. I'm not doing all that.
On a PJ, yeah, know I flew that girl to Turks on a B-day. I got up under her skirt on a B-day.
This shit's sad. She ain't even acknowledging his ass.
Hey, 100,000 back to back for a week straight. Bitch, you know how we play.
We have some outlier cases like ASAP Rocky, which we're gonna address at the end of the video. The majority of successful rappers are not exactly blessed, and that's
Why you
probably
keep
why
doing that to
they
this nigga?
and people in general often end up becoming successful in non-beauty department fields. People who don't organically attract girls will tend to work harder as a cope so they can compensate with money and status, which I
Facts.
do fully support. I agree you should be doing that. And rapping doesn't require you to be beautiful, unlike singing like Justin Bieber to a female audience. It just requires a dominant, dangerous, or aggressive look. And sometimes that aggressive street look can be synergistic with existing good looks, but you need the attractive genetic foundation. ASAP Rocky has it, but Lil Baby does not have it, for example. That's why you see countless rappers
He
like
can't
Lil
find somebody
Baby
else to pick on.
openly
Damn.
beta buxing to girls. And even rapping about beta buxing and flexing this need to compensate.
How the fuck I'm gonna quit when these bags so cheap? Bags so cheap. How the fuck I'm gonna quit when these bags so cheap? Hey, you know, I don't really pay too much attention to it because the music just be going hard. So sometimes I just zone out on some of these lyrics. But I did hear this nigga's pathetic. This nigga just be spending money. Shit sad. But didn't he have like Jada before he was even in this situation? But I watched this little documentary that came out a couple years ago where even before he was a rapper, he was getting money through the stuff he was doing in the streets. So he probably, I'm gonna say he may or may not have game, but I think his money did most of his talking. Because he seemed like he was always a trick.
Which I find very odd. I find it so strange to flex that you need to compensate.
I don't even
but
know
it
her
is an
about her
interesting
bag.
thing. But they even simp pretty hard for girls too. It's not just that. Lil Baby.
Hold up. Hello. Let me know something. What wrong? I'm in Orlando. I can't find you. So you went back home. I get it. On the way to your house, I'm gonna show you crazy. You must have the wrong woman. Stop being crazy. You're not in Orlando. On God, I am. Show me. I got the right woman. The woman that got me hyped to disappear. I'm getting my hair done. Don't act crazy. Where do I live? Where do I live then? Stop that. So you went back home oh, you like crazy. You don't like chill because ignoring me for weeks is crazy. I'm 25 minutes from your house. I'm gonna be in the driveway. I don't like crazy at all. I'm grown and whatever. But you still texting back, so stop all that chatting. Stop that. If you miss me, just say that. No, you could. No, you just told me what I was instead of ignoring me. Ignoring me, pull up and find me. Of course, I miss you. I had my hopes all up to see. Then no response. Damn, he sounds sad. No, it doesn't. Stop cosplaying the crazy man. Because you think I like that. I like peace and love. You're an Instagram baddie. You like money and getting ran through. All right.
Was even willing to buy her a car worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
He says, you know what exactly to say, huh? She says, I want a Rolls Royce Cullinan 2025.
That nigga go buy it too.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh my
no.
God.
Yo, this chick that said a $500,000 car. Oh my God.
Damn.
That's what you get for making
$500,000?
You can have the big Chanel in the store if you want it. Yo, these chicks are telling you straight up. You ain't even hit yet. Yo, buy me a Rolls Royce Cullinan if you chat. Let's go.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna leave that there while I go take a piss. This is how bitches is talking to our favorite rappers. You want this pussy? Buy my dream car. It's a $600,000 car. Then we can fuck.
Damn.
Holy.
This is insanely embarrassing to me, but an
Why
interesting
he
thought
paused the
I
video right
sometimes
there?
play
Damn.
with is, what if these rappers accept that they're genetically flawed or inferior in terms of the looks department at least, and thus they're flexing their acceptance of this and their willingness to work hard for the cat. Because they seem to be pretty self-aware that they're tricking, so I play with the idea that they know that these girls don't even find them attractive and they can't change that, so maybe they're just flexing the acceptance because it's stoic. Obviously they don't know what stoicism is, but it's the same idea. It's like, yeah, I know I'm ugly, but I know I can't change that, and I'm strong enough to not bitch about that, so I'm just gonna work hard and do what I can do and make this money and get bitches more.
I see what he's saying. He kind of trying to see from their perspective. I respect it, but even if that is the case, why do you have to go that hard for women? Even if you feel like, hey, I'm not the most attractive dude, okay, well then go for what likes you. Why are you going for what doesn't like you just because you are in a different tier of status now and a different tier of money now? We're gonna start paying for it. To me, that's sad. Just because you got more money doesn't mean you start paying for the cat. To me, that means you're a top tier male now. Those women need to be looking, those women need to be chasing you, not you chasing them. Because to me, that's you chasing them if you got to go out of your way to be begging in they fucking DMs. Like, that woman ain't got nothing. That woman probably don't even have 6 figures to her name. The one that little baby in her damn DMs. She ain't even got 6 figures to her name. She probably ain't really got much going for her besides being Instagram baddie. And that's really it. And other niggas probably paying for her to get this and paying for her to get that. But she actually has nothing of value to offer. She has nothing of her own to offer to these niggas. But, you know, black men, unfortunately, love this tricking culture and then try and hit you with that bullshit. It ain't tricking if you got it. Nah, but it's sad, though, because you worked your ass off to be the 1% of top tier men in the world, or in the United States at least, to where you have financial freedom, and we kind of knock ourselves down a peg by tricking and spending all this money on women who would have never eaten with you at the table when you had nothing. But now that you have something, for some reason we want to invite them to the table. I don't know why we do that as black men in general. When we're at the bottom, we tend to ignore, or, you know, maybe get ignored by women. And then as soon as we get some form of status and money, now we want to invite the women who would have never given us a chance in the first place to the table just for their attention. And yeah, you can kind of spin it and be like, well, I'm trying to get what I want now. Now I got the money and status. I'm trying to hit that. I can hit whatever I want now. Okay. And that's your lust taking control over there. But for me personally, it's not even worth all that. It's like, man, just like who like you. And yeah, it's probably hard to figure that out now that you as big as you are, but there's ways to do what you need to do, man. You don't need to. I just don't understand why men tend to do that to themselves just because they're that lustful. They're willing to spend all this money, all the money that they worked hard for, on people who don't give no fucks about you. That's crazy to me. I don't know. I can't picture that. No matter if I have an excess worth of money or what I have now, me spending a bunch of money on someone who I know don't give no fucks about me, all they concerned about is what they can use me for, is sad. And that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Usually women 9, 10s, some 8s as well. If they in that category, if they believe that they truly believe that they in that category and that they a bad bitch, because some women are delusional, and they know they're not a bad bitch, but they'll say it, but there's no confidence behind what they're saying. But if they fall in that category, 9 times out of 10, just think on it, fellas. 9 times out of 10, they really don't have nothing to offer. They have no substance. And then you start asking them questions about what they can do for you, and it turned into an attitude, and it turned into some conflict because they feel like my looks have carried me through life, so I don't need to offer anything because I look damn good. Well, sweetie, those looks are gonna fade away. So that's why men with some type of intelligence, men who are actually looking for something long term, ask you those questions. So for the women out there who get offended when a man asks you, what do you bring to the table? What do you have to offer? how can you upgrade my life if I bring you in? Those are usually men who are looking for something serious, something with substance, something that really will offer value to their lives. The niggas who don't care, I'm telling you, those are the same niggas who just gonna play in your face. And then you gonna be heartbroken, or you gonna feel played, and guess what? You gonna go back and fucking repeat the same cycle again. Shit is hilarious, bro.
More than you through this avenue. And maybe that's something that they're proud of, because they seem to openly flex this in their music. Or maybe they're just completely oblivious, you know? That could be a possibility as well. But the lyrics often insinuate that they know the girl is with them for money, and that they won't be fooled by a hoe, even though they actually do often get fooled by a hoe.
Often, yep.
Which we're going to get into shortly. So for one, we all agree that the way they're attaining these women is not through genuine desire. It's mostly through beta buxing, and they even admit it themselves in their own lyrics, in their own song, that they know they're beta buxing. They know that these women are with them for the wrong reasons, or with them for the money. They are the ones who admit this, and they flex it like it's something to be proud of. Again, I don't personally fully understand, I don't fully comprehend why they would want to flex that their raw genetic material is insufficient without compensation. But, you know, to each their own, I guess. I tried my best to rationalize it.
You can't.
Anyway, with this very high status and money, well, I should say perceived money, because they often are financially irresponsible and go broke very, very quickly.
Factual.
Even with this very high status and perceived money, let's look at the type of women that these rappers are able to attain.
Finally get myself together. Hold on. Bitches don't be having, you know, these bitches don't be having no edges, right? They don't be having no motherfucking edges. They skin be bummy. And they stay talking about how golden look, but bitch, golden is still flawless, bitch. Golden look 10 years younger without makeup. I'm not just saying this shit. Y'all see it right now.
Yeah, you tell them, sweetheart.
What are we talking about?
Fuck. Well, without even having to show you the women, I'm sure you're very familiar with the typical archetype that they're getting with. You know, I think we all know it's always the same.
It's the women that they know they couldn't have got with no money, and now that they have some status, I think it's sad that they're doing everything they can to get these women. When these women, like I said, once again, all they have is looks and a fake or real ass. It's like, why are we going so hard for something that you are most likely not even going to lock in with? You just want to hit. Okay, I understand lust is a real thing, but damn, we spending a bag on something just to hit it maybe once or a couple times, and then you gonna move on. You're a rapper, you're a man. At the end of the day, you know you are a man of status and wealth. So you're gonna get that one thing multiple times maybe, and then you're gonna find something that looks just as good or better, and then move on to that. So why go? I'm trying to find the logic behind it, and I feel like, you know, niggas ain't moving. Even though we're very logical creatures, niggas ain't moving with logic at this point. You know, they just moving with their dick. But even if you are doing that though, why so much money though? Why so much? Why are we normalizing transactional sex? You know, when it comes to, hey, if you get me this bag, I'll let you hit. I understand it's always technically been transactional, because you gotta usually court a woman, take her on a date, things of that nature, and that may or may not lead to sex. But I guess it's whether you're accepting of it or not. Because both of those are transactional, but I guess it's what is acceptable. I guess since the other one is more normal, it's been normalized over the years that you actually got to take a woman out and do these things and this, that, and the third. But I think spending tens of 50s, hundreds of thousands of dollars on one item or multiple items just to get her to talk to you, that's pretty pathetic. Fucking $600,000 car, and you ain't hit, you ain't, and then the fact that we translating $600,000 to hitting. Get the out of here. Get the out of here. I don't know, man. These niggas is sad. This shit is pathetic.
Is it the Victoria's Secret models? Is it the actresses? No. Now, I'm not saying some of these girls aren't attractive, and I'm not saying I wouldn't be taking down these girls myself, and that, you know, I haven't dabbled in some of these before. But are these girls the top of the food chain? That's the question. The ones that
No.
you would think somebody as high status and high perceived money as a rapper would be able to get. At least when I was a kid in high school, you know, I'm thinking that these rappers have the pick of the litter.
Nope.
And it's just not the case at all.
Nope.
I would argue that a rapper would prefer your typical average college girl, you know, a natural college girl
That's
who's
what I would
just
think.
pretty and good looking, the type of girl that you could get if you're a good looking guy in college, and that it's all just one big cope for them to say that BBLs and these plastic surgery prostitutes are their preference. And we hear Clavicular sharing these same notions when he was on the interview with DJ Academics, and I commend DJ Academics for being very open-minded to this conversation.
My black friends, like me and my one friend, right? His name is AJ, right? We'll look at a girl, and I'll say, like, he loves BBL chicks. I call half of those chicks fat. I'm like, that's just fat redistributed. Like, that's a fat bitch. But for him, he's like, dude, she's not fat, she's perfect. I like more of a petite woman, more likely. And I'll point out a woman who maybe fits that build, and he'll look at me and he says, yo, you like anorexic girls. So that becomes like this really distinct preference. And I do think within the black community, I do think there is a preference of what is normalized. And that could probably have the other implications you're talking about.
Factual.
Or maybe those things affect that preference, where most women who would be probably on a BMI level, seemingly normal weight, they're almost seen as underweight. And
we made a video about this.
women who would normally be overweight, they're like, no, they're normal. Based on what you see on TV. Like, you see these chicks on TV? Like,
right. But the other thing is that there's also a cope involved with that. Your friend AJ, is he famous or anything like that?
he likes what, like, but all right, listen.
Well, this is very important.
Okay,
So is
no. So I'll use, because he likes the same girls that like a rapper like Lil Baby would like.
Okay.
And a rapper like Lil Baby,
I don't appreciate the little lingo text that he did. Like, what? Okay, twin, stop it. Oh my god. I could speak on it, but I'm not. We're gonna keep it moving.
rapper like Lil Baby, like, he's gonna go after the woman with like the big bodacious ass, like, you know, her belly button is moved up or down a couple centimeters because she's gotten all the works done. It's over accentuated features.
These texts though at the top, I'm not 100%, you know, standing on some of this, because I do believe that you buy a Corvette because there's some people actually out there who buy a Corvette because they want a Corvette. Has nothing to do with being able to afford a Ferrari or not. There's genuine people who just fuck with Corvette. It's as simple as that. I think some people be reaching a little bit with some of these takes, because it's like, damn, relax. Can't niggas just want a Corvette?
If you actually look at it just on a scale, and by the way, I walked in the house, there's a motherfucking scale downstairs. Like, it's a fucking scale down.
Yeah.
I thought these things was like CGI. There's a fucking scale.
No.
Wait, what's a scale for? Okay, so back to Lil Baby, right? And this is most rappers. Most rappers, I always say, me and rappers don't have the same taste for women. I don't like women with a BBL. I don't like over-accentuated features. I like women with normally proportioned bodies, and usually bodies that are not
Natural.
plastic. Yeah, I like natural bodies.
As do I.
And in hip hop, those women are actually considered, if we're gonna use the looks maxing term, subhuman to the girl with the BBL. The girl that was like 215 pounds, she gets lipo. I think they call lipo 360 now. She sucks out some fat. She takes the other fat, stuffs it in her butthole or her buttocks, and creates some titties. Her waist looks like this. That's what, in hip hop, for rappers especially, I see like a lot of people are attracted to. So that's why I was trying to have you explain, why do you think, because I think that's preference.
Well, here's the thing. The top of the top women aren't getting with rappers. You know what I mean? Because quite frankly, there's dudes who are better looking, have more money, have more status than these rappers, right? Even kick streamers, whatever streamers.
That's actually an interesting point. You
have more money than these fucking rappers. You know what I mean? So that's not the highest end of what they're able to get with. So a lot of the times people have to cope and tell themselves that they have a preference for these kind of things, like maybe your friend, when it's actually not ideal at all. But it's easier for them to, tell themselves, oh, I really like these women who have super fat asses. Maybe they're a little bit overweight. I just like a bigger girl. That's thickness, that's this, whatever. And actually acknowledging the problem they can't get with these top level women.
Bingo. That's what it is. What it is. They can't get the women that they actually want. So they kind of they kind of just start going for the BBL queens, huh? Damn. Yeah, he can. I think he hit the money on the head right there. He definitely got that one. It's sad, but you're right. And I feel like the women with some actual substance and something to offer, whether it's natural or unnatural. I don't know too many women with unnatural bodies who actually have something to offer, because they usually have the same headspace as these women who, are basically internet prostitutes. But they can't attract the woman, the actual good women out here, the ones that would actually lock in and want to, start a family, this, that, and the third. But I will say, even if they could attract them, most rappers don't have that mindset for where they want a woman that's gonna lock in with. They wanna play the field. They want to have a good time, and they just only get butthurt when that woman also wants to have a good time as well. They can't dish out. I mean, they can't take what they dishing out.
Maybe it is cope in hip hop a little.
It is cope. It is.
At a point they changed the word fat to no, it's not. It's THATT. It's not FAT. And then they're like, no, it's not fat. It's thick. Mm-hmm. So you think that's kind of all cope?
It's cope. Yeah, because think about it, right? I mean,
could someone actually be generally just attracted to? Yeah, she weighs like 188 pounds. She's supposed to weigh 135, but it's in the right places.
No,
there's like a
really
fat
don't
ass.
think so. I don't think so.
I think I've coped like that before as well, huh?
You think about it for a second. Rappers really don't have that much money. They don't. They are financially irresponsible a lot of the time. They're buying stupid shit. They're blowing it all. Same with athletes too. They're 5 years after they're retired, they got no money.
Well, athletes actually make a lot of money, but I will agree on the fact that they tend to be financially irresponsible. I blame who they were raised by, but I can't only blame that so much, because obviously there's a lot. It goes a lot deeper than that, because how is somebody who's raising you that's never touched that type of money or knows what financial responsibility is, when they've lived paycheck to paycheck all their life, and then their son or daughter becomes some type of professional athlete and touches hundreds of $1,000s to millions of dollars, expect them to be able to have raised a child to know what to do with that money. So you got that aspect, as well as I do blame our school system. Our school system should be teaching children the importance of money, the importance of finances, credit, all those things, loans, how the banking system works, everything along that lines. But no, we would rather teach us about world history. Hey, guess what? That's what America's school system. I don't give a fuck what Russia did in 1966. I don't care. I don't care what the Asian countries did in 1950. Why don't you teach me what's going on here? Teach me the things that actually matter. But that's another topic.
Money left. Same thing is true with rappers. So they're just not that top echelon where they could get with these models who are in shape, have these perfectly natural bodies. Beautiful.
I think that's cap. I think they can get them. I just think that he is saying that they're coping, but I do believe that they can get them, but that's not the woman that they want. I don't think that's the woman that they want. I mean, we're in a different culture than him. I do believe that the we just made a video on it that the excess of almost being overweight is accepted in the black community because they have the features that they want, which is this whole thick thing that we have going on in the black community. So I don't think the supermodel look is what most black men are going for. Most black men would take a BBL. I'm not gonna say most. No. I'm not gonna say most on that one. But I would say most of those rappers would take a BBL woman over a naturally built woman, especially built as a model. Because most model, the way they look, they're more of the slim type. Most black men are not gonna pick that over a BBL queen. That's just what it is. When it comes to, when I say most men, I'm sorry, I'm talking about men within the rapper category. They feel like that may not be a woman they can, show off and do this, do that with. So I don't agree with him on that part. I do believe that rappers prefer the look of a BBL woman, and even if it's natural, a more voluptuous, thick woman on that end of things. So but I do believe they can attract those models. But that's just not what they're interested in. You know what I'm saying? And if they hit it and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Same like these other women. But
beautiful face.
So far we addressed the way these rappers are able to get any women at all, and it's through beta buxing, not genuine desire. It's through clout chasing and beta buxing. Secondly, we examine the looks of the women the rappers are having to settle with because it's not their preference. It's just the best that they can get. It's the best that they could do, which is often not as good as your average good-looking guy in college. But now, most importantly, above all, it's the inner qualities of these girls. And athletes fall victim to a similar situation because they suffer from the same problem to a lower degree because they are often saved by height, frame, physicality, and I'd say the athletic competence does also hold genetic value as well. But the point is, they all deal with this problem, and that's the kind of women who are reaching out to them and hanging out in their circles because it's always these same strategic, conniving women. These women are objective-oriented for money and clout and have been with tons of other rappers, sometimes even friends and collaborators of the rapper, and quite literally, like indirect prostitutes.
Rappers aren't dating from the whole world. They're dating from the same circles over and over. I'm talking same faces, same rooms, same rotation, just behind different doors. Now let's talk about some of those very popular faces in hip-hop. Because if you've been anywhere near hip-hop culture or even hip-hop adjacent, you might recognize at least one of the women on the screen right now. Let's start with the one to the left, and that is Selena Powell, the self-proclaimed industry thought. And then we have Ruby Rose, someone who got her first big breakthrough dating Playboy Carti. She rode that momentum very nicely, got connected to the right people, and before you know it, she popped up in the Bad and Bougie music video. Wasn't Takeoff left off Bad and Bougie? RP to Takeoff. From there, Ruby Rose became a recognized face in the industry. She's dated several rappers in the game, built a massive IG presence, dropped music, launched an OnlyFans account. Now Ruby is interesting because she really understood the environment very early on and turned visibility into a business model. And unlike a lot of the women who got caught up in a game, Ruby caught on to the game early and capitalized off of all of it, securing her own bag in the process.
These are not the kinds of women you want to ever take seriously, and the rappers even admit this themselves. They admit, like, I'd never take a hoe serious, you know.
That's the sad part about it. It's like that these women don't acknowledge that they hoes. And India Love was just on stream a couple months ago crying about how she changing her ways and how she wants somebody to settle down with her, this, that, and the third. Anyway, you've been in the game too long. Ain't nobody paying you no attention, bro. Ain't nobody finna settle down with you. The standards that you're looking for, or the requirements that you're looking for in a man, I highly doubt they're gonna be met. There's a very low percent chance that a man out here is actually going to lock in with you and take you serious because of your past. And women don't realize that until they get to a certain age, that their past affects their future. It just, men and women are different. For women, the future is what's more important to them when it comes to dating a man. And for a man, a woman's past is more important to them because it's like, what were you doing back then? What did you have going on in your past that could possibly affect my future? Could it be embarrassing to me or what I got going on? That's more important to a man. For a woman is, where's this man going? Are we going to continue to be? Am I going to be continue to be safe, secure, and financially taken care of, things of that nature? Because at the end of the day, a man is a provider. So we just look at things differently. So that's why it's always been funny when women get upset when a man wants to know about their past, because obviously you're not a man, so you don't know the importance of it to us. And niggas who don't ask about your past, just know they're not looking for anything long term. And they're not. They're not. They're not looking for anything long term or it's one of those situations where they feel like it'll eventually come to light. But most men are gonna try and figure out at least and get to know a little bit of your past, especially when it comes to your dating history. A lot of women are liars, so they're not gonna put all that up front. So that's why it's one of those situations where it'll come to light. But most of the time, men are going to, poke and, try and figure out a little bit here and there. And then most women, like I said, will reveal themselves through their actions of how they was moving in their past.
She's getting kicked to the curb after we're done or whatever. They say all this. This is what they say in their songs. They agree with this, but often their actions do speak otherwise. Despite this, they end up getting attached and they end up simping for these girls and even beefing with other rappers and former friends over literal prostitutes with plastic surgery. You see, if rappers had better options, then they wouldn't have these problems. They wouldn't continue hanging out with these girls in the same circles who are acting like sharks, who...
I think it's just the fact that they're losers. Because I do believe that they could literally go out there and find a better option. They could. They have the money, they have the status. It's not that difficult. By better option, it could be the same plastic surgery Barbie, but one that's a little bit more loyal, one that stays in line, one that follows your direction. Unfortunately, money can buy obedience nowadays with some of these women. So I do believe they can find a better option. They just when you're a loser, you start locking in and getting feelings and getting butthurt when the hoe that you picked up, you knew she was a hoe, continues to be a hoe. That's where that loser mentality comes in, because you already knew what you invested in. You already knew what you put your time into. Why are we now upset and expecting the hoe that you picked up to only stay loyal to you when she was already a hoe? You thought you was going to change her with your money and your status the same way the other 10 niggas before you had? No, nigga. So I think that's what it is. It's just stupidity and being a bum. But I do believe they can find better options. They just don't have that mindset, They crumbling over a hoe. Now we going outside for a hoe? Hell no.
Have no purity, who aren't even upper echelon in the looks department. Like, if they had the options, they wouldn't be dealing with these girls. It's that simple. Like, the proof is in the pudding. If they had better options, they would not be dealing with these girls, but the truth is that they don't.
I don't necessarily believe that.
Contrary to what you might have initially thought, contrary to what I saw when I was in high school, these rappers talking about how easy it is for them to get girls and whatnot. And you would think because of their high money and their high status, but nope. Nope, it's not true. So I guess rappers do get bitches, they do, but it's through beta buxing, and the ones that they do are just, they're not very attractive, to put it quite simply, at least compared to, the real upper echelon ones. And these upper echelon ones, you even see like good looking guys in college with no job getting. And sometimes not even Chads, not even Chad Lights. Sometimes high tier normies are getting these like upper echelon quality women in college, and they have nothing going for them. It's literally
Because I feel like they expect, because women are at that time expect these men to have nothing going for them because they're in the same position, you know? So basically, those women are betting on, they're not even, I don't even think those women are thinking about the future. I think those women are just focused on how does this man make me feel? Which usually when you aren't a very successful man, or let's say you're a broke man, it's all about how do you make a woman feel? If you make her feel good enough, she gonna fuck with you. And then on top of that, it's a bonus if you look good. So if you're attractive enough and you make her feel good, honestly, the rest of that they look at that as, oh, we can figure that shit out. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how women operate. It go based off of feeling. So if you had those two in the bag or in the looks category, you at least, you know, probably a 6 or above, you good, man. If you can make her feel good enough, she ain't worried about none of that. She's not worried about what you got going on, especially not in the college days. Unless you got one of those hoes who tracing the athletes with the NIA deals and shit like that. But besides that, most college girls know, okay, we both in the same situation. I'm really not worried about what you got going on, because at the end of the day, we both trying to figure that shit out. But you look good and you make me feel good, so we gonna keep it going. And sometimes those end up being, you know, your college sweetheart, and then other times you had a good time, on to the next, right? So I don't know. I'm not really necessarily agreeing with what he's saying in this instance, because I do truly believe rappers can get better. They just fall into the same mindset once they get into the industry as all these other rappers. Unfortunately, the black culture mindset where we have to spend it. And then those are the women who tend to be in the circles because they like fucking vultures. I gotta get into this club. And then they be over there going outside, introducing themselves. Hey, this, that, the third, and trying to look as cute as possible so they can get invited into the section. And then, oh, I know this rapper, I know this producer, this, that, the third. They get invited to the circle, and it turns into a whole. It turns into a whole circle. Oh, okay, I know you. You was fucking on him, so you already know the industry. You know how to keep your mouth closed. This, that, and the third. So, and you look good. So I'm a crack that too. And then after you done cracking that, you move on. But then her friend look good. She got invited to the circle. I'ma crack that. And then they just keep passing these women around. And it's so funny. The women are so emotionally just moving based off emotions. No logic, no intelligence, no nothing. None of that. I will give it to Ruby. Like I give her all the respect. She found a way to make a bag out of it. A lot of these women have not. So you're just a rotational hoe. You're an on-call hoe. And they okay with that. It's sad, but I gotta realize that they're okay with that, to be an on-call hoe. Oh, okay. Who's the next celebrity ready to hit that? Are you ready to go? And then they back up. Oy, whee, sheesh. Sheesh. Boy, that's what we own, man. Our on-call hoe, and they proud about that shit.
Just their genetics. Now, what about exceptions? Let's talk about some exceptions, and there's two that I want to highlight. One exception is when the money and status is extremely high. And where do we see this? It's going to be with Drake. Drake is on a different level in terms of his money and status. So Drake is actually one of the few, potentially only rappers able to attain the Victoria's Secret model quality in terms of looks, at least. But even Drake runs into trouble in paradise with those girls because oftentimes they're not good in terms of inner qualities. The album he made, For All the Dogs, low-key sounds like an album about coping and the black pill if you listen closely to some tracks. I think after Drake lost
Drake is a loser
Rihanna,
too.
this is just a theory. I think after Drake lost Rihanna, I think he might have done a lot of inner reflection and started looking at some potential looks flaws he might have, and he's clearly insecure about some things. He's had a couple of surgeries. I know 2 are confirmed, one of which is his abdominal surgery.
Anyway,
so it would make sense that he's dabbled in, I wouldn't call him a black pillar for sure, but I'd say he's a gray pillar. Like, he's probably looked into some looks maxing concepts before.
We got looks
I would
maxing,
not
we
be
got black
surprised
pill, we
if
got
he's
gray
had the
pill.
time to go
What is all
down
this
some of these
bullshit?
rabbit
Like,
holes.
what?
after getting his heart broken so many times.
Speak
and
the
I mean,
English
that's why
language.
we love Drake music, right? You know, because it's relatable to a lot of guys. And I don't think those stories are fake at all. I think that Drake genuinely, you know, falls in love with some girls and he realizes that they're with him for the money and status and not for him, not
Well,
for
he did
his,
say he's a lover boy.
his
So.
genetic quality. And also another funny thing, he hates clavicular, and I suspect it's because of a comment that Clavicular made about his eye area. Clavicular said, I couldn't find the clip, but he said something like, Drake's eyes are gigafar apart. And yeah, Drake took that to heart. You know, that definitely hurt his feelings. So, you know Drake cares about this kind of stuff.
What
He
are we
knows it
talking
matters.
It's like 5 was a micro.
No way.
That's so gay. Yeah, look.
But no way it's real though, right?
Bro, I mean,
Is it actually real? Is that real? No way.
yo, Posty, is it real?
That's gotta be.
Was that an Aiden's? Oh, they say it was an Aiden's.
Probably fake.
How the f does he know?
And I mean, even if that's just
Yeah.
gay, bro. We talk about another man's, bro. Like,
Dude,
we
that's
ain't seen
definitely
yours,
someone
bro.
who
White niggas always talking about some gay. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
logged into his account or hacked him or something.
I mean, Drake
I
is
doubt-
dusty, bro.
Well, I doubt Drake has the time of day to be typing in
Oh, he
chat.
definitely does, bro.
Nah, let's be real. Let's see. It's real? No shot. Why the f did Drake diss me? Bro, that's zesty.
Now, the
That's
other
zesty.
kind of outlier we see is somebody like ASAP Rocky. And do I need to spell it out for this one? I think you guys could tell what's going on here. Anyway, ASAP Rocky ended up cuffing Rihanna, who's not only, I think we could all agree,
Top
she's beautiful,
tier.
like top, you know, pretty far up there. But she's also very successful too, you know? And
But to keep it a stack with you, I mean, ASAP rap, I don't know. Sometimes you just have intuition. You just kind of know. And I feel like some people have it, some people don't. You can just feel somebody's energy. You just observe someone's presence, watching his interviews, watching how he moves, listening to his music. ASAP Rocky has always been, from what it seems like, a confident nigga. I feel like ASAP Rocky wasn't having a hard time getting hoes before the fame. And now he just has status and fame on top of that and still has that confidence he had before all that was the case. So getting a woman like Rihanna, probably to him wasn't difficult. He just brought his confidence to the table. And on top of that, he got the money and status. And he's good. And you could just tell certain niggas who have that. Niggas like Drake, Lil Baby, I'm trying 42 Doug they showed earlier. The niggas just don't have that. They didn't have that. Now they were losers before. Now they just losers with money and fame. The mindset has not changed. The confidence is still not there. And if whatever little bit of confidence they have, guess what? That's because of the status and the money and the accolades. And they use that and they bring that to the front of the table. And they usually tend to attract these same, BBL queens out here. Or the ones who don't give two fucks about what they got going on. What can you do for me? You get what I'm saying? So that's why they attract those. A nigga like ASAP Rocky, he ain't never had a hard time. I could tell, bro, just the confidence. I mean, even at his, I think the most recent concert, he was like, man, if I wasn't in a relationship, I'd be smashing all the females in the crowd and they all going crazy. Because he know, bro, that's just the confidence he admit. That's just the nigga who he is. And I would say the same goes on, the same person who gives that off as well is Future. Just naturally a confident nigga. Yeah, he may have his loser moments. I get that. He look like a nigga who has a ton of those. But at the end of the day, I feel like even before the fame, that nigga wasn't having a hard time getting women. His status and money just made it even a little bit easier. And the nigga like 40 something, and he's still having himself a good old time as if he was a young 20-year-old nigga. So that's just it. If you a loser before the money, you still gonna be a loser with the money. And that's as simple as that. But I'm gonna end it right here. I'm curious what y'all think. Please drop it in the comment section. We can have a conversation about it. Like the video, subscribe, all that other jazz. Other than that, take it easy.